another how-to. Today I'm going to be reviewing my 9th gen Civic 2012 to 2015 video for the check VSA, check ABS, check TPMS, check everything. I'm going to be reviewing that video because in the original video I reviewed the most common cause that creates this issue, although I didn't get too deep or really give you any options on what to look for and how to diagnose the issue to help confirm the most common issue is actually your problem. So what we're going to do today is review that, touch base. I'm going to give you some diagnostic insight on what to look for if you have the Christmas tree of death on one of these Civics, guys. So let's get into it now. Alright, so here we are. What I reviewed in my first video is the most common cause for all the dash lights to come on one of these Hondas is a battery. Okay, it's either the battery is drained, it's dead, discharged, something. Is that the only reason it could happen? No, but it is definitely the most common, and you can go back and even look at the original video and you can see how many other people have experienced the issue. So what I want to do is give you a couple tips on how you can help verify that is the issue, which I didn't do in the first video and I wish I did. So that's why we're doing this. So let's go ahead and get into what to look for, and that way you don't have to just start guessing and assuming that it's your battery and your battery alone. All right, so what we have here is a multimeter voltmeter. Okay, multimeters tell you everything when it comes to voltage and everything involving electrics with vehicles. All right, so a good battery should be 12.5 volts. Okay, so if I came out in the morning after the car sat all night, it should be around 12.5 volts. Sometimes you might see it at like 12.4, even maybe 12.3 on really colder days. Technically 12.5 should be a good battery. So what we're going to do is test this. We'll see where we're at, and then we'll have an idea of what the condition of the battery is. So I just got a positive here, which I'm going to put in the positive, and I'm just going to hold the negative. And this is actually pretty low. It's at 12.3. This is an Optima battery, so in my opinion, Optimas aren't good anymore, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, as you can see, we're in the lower to mid 12 range. Okay, so that's enough to start this car. Hondas are pretty particular about battery voltage, so when it's at lower voltage, probably even in the low 11s, it might not start. So that's the first thing to look for. The car should have a good battery, should be 12.5 volts or higher. If it just was running, you'll probably see it at a little higher. So like if I just started this and turned it off, it'd probably be at like 12.8, 12.9. All right, but after sitting cold, it should be around 12.5. All right, so first thing to look for, 12.5. If I saw anything lower than 12 volts, if I saw 11.9, if I saw 10.6, 9.3, whatever, I would automatically know the battery is bad. All right, so that would automatically give you your reason right there. All your dash lights are coming on, it's because your battery's bad. You might even get it after a jump sometimes because the battery was bad. So keep that in mind as well. So the next thing you could do is also test the voltage when the car is running. When the car is running, it should be around 14 volts. So what we'll do is put the voltmeter right back on the battery. I'll start this up and we'll see what the voltage is looking like while the car is running. All right, guys, so I got you set up here on the battery. The GoPro is sitting on the battery with the voltmeter. Haven't started the vehicle yet, so I got a little bit better connection with these gator clamps I got on there. So it's reading 12.39, which I'm not really excited about, but it is what it is. So let's start this. We should be in the 14s once it starts. So let's see where we're at. Actually, I just touched the clamp, and I think the clamp wasn't quite tight. So there we go. It's got a secure connection now. So we're about 12. We're at about 14.3, which is perfect. All right, so that's what we want to see. We want to see 14 when the car starts and is running. So, let this start idle for a couple minutes. It should be at 14, mid 14s, low to mid 14s, okay? And like we reviewed with the car off, the battery should be 12.5. So if you're not seeing these numbers, if the voltage is not between 13.7 and 14.7, when the car is running, you have a bad alternator potentially. And if the battery is not 12.5 volts, or roughly about that, you have a bad battery. So this is the numbers that we need to look for to verify if you have a battery issue. 13.7 to 14.7 while the car is running, roughly 12.5 volts when the car is off. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off. We'll see what this drops down to, because, you know, why not? Alright guys, so like I said, when you turn it off, it's going to be in the high 12s. Alright, so this is probably going to drop back down to about 12.4, hopefully 12.5. This is where it really should be at, but we got a good battery here, guys, and it was simply determined off of a multimeter. So if you're getting the Christmas tree of death, all the lights on the dash are coming on, it's good chance it's your battery, and this is how you can verify it. Okay, you need to get a multimeter, test for voltage, and see where you're at. Now, there are other possibilities that could potentially make all these lights come on aside just from the battery itself. The ground wire is a huge thing that you can check, and it's free. If there's any corrosion around this, it needs to be cleaned. You need to make sure it's tight. Even if this feels tight, like you can see I'm moving it, nothing's happened, I would take it off and put it back on if your battery is good and you're having all these lights come on, just to verify it's not a ground issue. You might even have to chase the ground. You can follow the wires. You can see it's actually mounted right there. So if you see that, that is where one of the ground wires is coming from. Okay, so that's one of the engine grounds. And you know, you might have to clean where it mounts to the frame. You know, these are possibilities. I did a TSX recently that was getting dash lights. It was periodically dying. It was simply a bad ground. It was getting all the dash lights coming on, same deal, same situation. It's an Acura Honda, same thing. It was having all the dash lights come on. It was just a bad ground. So ensure you have a good ground, no corrosion. Take it off, clean it, make sure it's tight, make sure where it mounts is tight. Everything is good to go as far as your ground wire. Now, there are other possibilities, like when a wheel speed sensor goes bad on these vehicles, on, you know, Acuras and Hondas, it can trigger the VSA, the, you know, assist light. I mean, they quite a few, if not all of the same ones, come on as well. So in that case, let's say, you know, all your dash lights come on, you test your battery, everything is good. You need to have the car properly scanned with somebody who has the correct diagnostic tools to see what it is from there, because it could be, you know, one of the wheel sensors, it might have another underlying issue. You need information and data instead of, you know, guessing with, you know, buying parts or just randomly guessing. Okay, so battery is the easiest, most probable cause for this issue. Test for voltage. That way you know if you have a battery issue or not. If your battery is testing good and you have all these dash lights on, have the car properly diagnosed with an OBD2 scan tool capable of reading ABS, wheel sensors, the codes, etc., etc. Okay, so that's how you can diagnose and confirm you're getting these dash lights from a battery issue. All right, so in my case, when I made the video originally, I just had a dead battery. I didn't drive the car often, so I would let the battery die periodically, and I charged it. And I guess when I did it, I didn't charge it enough, and I pulled the car out like an inch or two, and all the lights came on. So I ended up charging the battery because it was an Optima, I was capable of doing so, and I just drove it 30 seconds down the road and all the lights went off. So if you do end up having to replace the battery, or if you have capabilities of charging a battery, really your battery would only probably respond to a charge if it's been sitting. If you just have a battery one day, you drive your car every day, it's a good chance the battery is just probably bad and a charge isn't going to salvage it. Okay, I mean, you could try, but I'm just saying it's probably bad. So, you know, if you do have all the dash lights, replace the battery. When you turn the car on, they might all be gone. If not, drive it, you know, 30 seconds, a minute down the road, and it'll rectify itself by recognizing the voltage is correct, and all the dash lights will go off and the car will be happy again. All right, so I hope this helped with diagnosing and giving you some insight as to the most common issue why these Hondas get the Christmas tree of death with all the dash lights on. So just make sure you stay tuned, because you never know when I might be reviewing an issue like this again. And until next time, guys.